Good morning. It is Friday, October 11th. It is a Friday, which is always a good thing. Welcome to Ask a Traffic Cop. I am PC Peter De Quintal. I should be joined shortly by my special guest, Giancarlo Marrelli, who you should be getting used to it by this point, as I don't do the show kind of on my own if I can avoid it. I'll be honest with you. But thank you so much for coming in, watching. I'm gonna appreciate my moderator because it is a Friday. I apologize if I'm a couple minutes late. Just getting everything the kinks worked out. Oh, I think John Carlo has entered the studio. Just to give you the heads up, and as I do as at the start of every show, our Vision Zero teams today, their focus is on 52 division and 41. As always, that is their focus. That does not mean we're still not doing enforcement across the city. And it is a Friday before a long weekend, so I hope everyone's got great plans. And part of those plans are if you're going to go out and celebrate Thanksgiving with family and friends, that you do it in a responsible fashion, and we don't drink and drive, right?
I do apologize. There we go. I do apologize for being late to take a call here right before we were about to get started. Good morning, good day, everybody. Welcome to the show, as Peter was saying. Yes, and long weekend. It's we are having our friends in the north that are going to be also doing a project. They're going to be roadways looking for impaired driving. So any kind of long weekend, just be cautious, be considerate. If you are going to be enjoying your visit this weekend, please be responsible. At the end of the day, one life lost to anything that's contributing to drinking and driving. Please plan ahead. At the end of the day, we're all family, we're all friends. If you're going to be out there enjoying that, just make some arrangements afterwards. Stay the night. It's not worth it to take the chance. Because it could be very costly, it could cost your life or someone else's. So on a gloomy thing, but anyways, long weekend. Again, this is always every time you see the media stuff, it was always like, okay, come talk about the long weekends, and like, the big thing we did that was always on the high demand was Christmas holiday season around Christmas time. The messaging goes out then, so just because of Christmas holiday parties and year parties, all that happening. So I do apologize if it's a little gloomy, but at the same time, it is Friday. It is a long weekend. Looking to spend time with the family, getting things ready, pumpkins, a lot of fixings with the big turkey. How about yourself, Peter? What are you doing? What are you doing this weekend?
So just looking at some of the cops,
Oh, sorry.
some of the comments. I love pointless people who come onto the show to say pointless things. And you know who you are because you would have just got probably muted or blocked. So yeah, I'm gonna give a shout out at the beginning here, just because Sean Shapiro is on, and aloha, Sean.
Oh.
I appreciate you. What's going on, my brothers? We missed you. We look forward to celebrating you shortly in the next couple of weeks.
Yes, sir.
Plans for the weekend. I'm making a trip north.
Yes.
I would refer to it as God's country because it's Barrie. So those folks who live in Barrie, I'm hoping I'm going to be a little bit of a rough on it. I'm hoping it hasn't snowed yet because I haven't put my snow tires on. We're going to make a day out of going to Barrie, go to the 5 Points, down to the waterfront and stuff. Because Sean unfortunately got me into these auctions, and now I got to go pick stuff up. Thanks, Sean. So yeah,
bad influence.
Yeah,
Yes.
and then typically every Monday we'll spend it with all my family, so my parents, so on my side, we'll get together, and my nieces and nephews, and so yeah. But on our side, none of us, like we were talking about the impaired driving, no one on my side are really drinkers, at least, yeah. So that's not really an issue for us. So yeah. But yeah, it's Friday. It's a long weekend.
Correct.
I had my first. So if you don't know, if you don't follow us on social media, I suggest you do because if you're here, you're following us at some point. Yesterday we had our kickoff. So I've been running a bike radio program now. This is into its 11th year. We had our official kickoff launch yesterday. We were at a school out in 12 Division. If you're not familiar with 12 Division, every day we put out a post at 6 a.m. about where our Vision Zero teams are. And in there is a link to take you to whatever division you're in. So all you got to do is put in your address and you'll find out whatever division, because we've talked about it before. I divide the city up by divisions. So we were in 12 Division. We were on the north side of it. I had a school called St. Fidel's Catholic Elementary School, and we did a bike rodeo. I'm going to try to put a TikTok together. I just got to craft it at some point. I took a lot of pictures, had a great time. We helped kids build up foundational skills.
Mhm.
46 kids attended,
Mhm.
and we only run the program for grade fours and fives. So I'm not looking for kids who are learning to cycle, but building up those foundational skills. So they learn
Mhm.
shoulder checks, arm signals, how to put on their helmet properly, dismounting off of a ramp, going on a slalom, all these things we practice. We have a great time. For the first time, I actually had music the entire time playing. Played like
Wow.
Disney songs. There was a shout out for California Girls, Katy Perry. If you're watching this, the kids love that song. So I played it. But yeah, no, we had a great time. The weather was fantastic. And each kid who participates, if they didn't have a bell or light before they participated, they were able to get a bell and light yesterday,
Mhm.
thanks to
Mhm.
amazing sponsors like Canadian Automobile Association, who pays for all the lights. So each kid gets a front and rear light with a first aid kit, and to Pro Action Cops and Kids, who help pay for all the bells. And thank you to the Canadian Tire at Stockyards for always taking care of me and fulfilling my very large order of bike bells, because I'm very
Amazing.
particular about the bike bell I use. But yeah,
Mhm.
so we had a great time. Kids had a fantastic time, and shout out to the young men of Chaminade College who came out to volunteer. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. So everything about a bike rodeo is about creating community. So I asked for volunteers so the students can get volunteer hours. And so they come out. Some of these kids are former students of those schools, and so they come out and volunteer. And I also have a special shout out to Emma, who came out from Sick Kids. Sick Kids has joined into the bike rider program. Emma was awesome. We had a great time. And I appreciate our auxiliaries. I'm appreciating a lot of people right now. It takes a lot of people to run these bike radios. It is truly a community thing. I bring a lot of people together. The idea is we celebrate our community. We are there to help our future. And so, yeah. And I've gone on for a little bit, and I can see questions are
Oh my
popping up. But
god,
yeah,
no,
so
I mean, no. You know what? I really value that the program that Peter is actually doing here, and it's actually being proactive, and that's huge, right? When it comes to even police, anything that you do, anything proactive, getting the kids started on the right foot, you know, or the right pedal in this case. Ha 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 ha.
I like that.
Hold on, let's hear it.
Uh-oh. Oh,
No, oh, shoot.
there you go.
Okay. So
Put it
getting you know, it's just you know, it's something that I really value. I think being proactive in a lot of these things, and it's better than being reactive, right? So trying to follow up, and you know, I love what we do, and Peter being the one that goes out there and teaches the kids again the right uh, fundamentals and the right skills when they are going to be riding their bikes. Because you know what, it's going to be a life skill. Riding a bike is a life skill. So if they do decide to commute later on in life, and you know what, communication is key when it comes to driving on the streets of Toronto or any street in the world. Actually,
Yeah, you good? Sorry.
you didn't like that. My moderator didn't like my joke. Come
Oh,
on.
Courtney. So,
Uh,
what was the reaction there? Yeah, no. So yeah, the city's becoming a cycling friendly city more
mhm,
and more each
yes.
with each passing year. What are we doing to help make sure our kids understand it, especially when it
Mhm.
comes to helmet wear? Because you want to protect the most important thing, and that's your head
At minimum,
and your
yes.
brain. And
Yes.
so we have those discussions. And so if you don't actually have a helmet, unfortunately, you can't participate because kids sometimes just show up with bikes and like, no, you
Uh,
have to have a helmet and thing. Now, what do we do
it's
about that?
it's long.
I will tell you, I have partners in the Ontario Tri Lawyers Association that one time a year we give out hundreds of helmets, and we've given out 3,345 helmets in 6 years. It's quite a bit, free of charge into the community. And there are other organizations doing similar things, giving out helmets and stuff. And so if you don't have the ability to afford a helmet, there are options out there. However, if you're just not buying a helmet because, well, you think I'm a great rider or whatnot, be careful out there because anyone who's really into cycling will tell you the zero velocity drop is a huge thing where you just stop, maybe your feet get stuck and you fall over. You want to protect your head as best as you can. So enough about the bike rodeos. You'll see it. I post it on my own social media. So if you follow like on X or on X, I haven't posted anything on TikTok. If you follow me on X at
Uh-oh.
Star Wars Cop, you'll see a whole bunch of pictures. There's a collage. It was a great time. If you follow me on Instagram at the Star Wars Cop, Instagram or Threads on Facebook, just PC Peter De Quintal, you can see those posts. I'm gonna try to make a TikTok. I just gotta make it entertaining. I also gotta figure out how to edit things and stuff. I'm not the most savvy with that. Not savvy at all. You don't understand if you follow TikTok or the traffic services and you saw my post boosting myself, you that took me forever to create, and it took me weeks. But I'm gonna get to it. I also have a ton of other things on my plate. So yeah. But yeah, thank you so much to everyone who's tuning in. If you don't follow traffic services, we appreciate it. Follow us on. We are streaming on YouTube, Twitch, X, Facebook, obviously here on TikTok and Instagram as well. My Instagram window went there. So yeah, um, we stream on many a platform to make sure we get as many people as we can. But got a whole bunch of good mornings. And good morning, Kayla. I appreciate you coming in as always. Sean's ghost is in the house, correct? Sean is here. So thank you so much. Good morning, Julie. Sorry, let
This
me.
guy's like the celebrity that will.
Kayla, my huge Star Wars fan. I appreciate you so much, and I appreciate your feedback on the show and stuff. And thank you. I am trying to make it my own, but I make it my own with other people. Right now, it's Giancarlo. I'm gonna try to get Aaron back.
She's much better looking than I am, that's for sure. But
you know what?
she's great with
beauty is in the eye of the beholder, sir. And as long as you can look at yourself in the mirror every day and say, "I am beautiful, handsome, whatever it is," I'm good with that.
Your mom thinks you're beautiful.
My mom loves me no matter what. So
big shout out to Kyle, and fellow officer Kyle. You know, how you doing? It's been a long time. Good old 14 days. I do miss going out back in the old days. No, not older. I keep thinking about that because obviously you guys know that Peter and I came out in the same class, and I'm like 19 years. And people are like, oh, you know, when we first found the job, you know, this job is, you know, it goes by really fast. I'm like, nah, there's no way. There's no way that this job goes by quickly. There's so much to learn, so much to do, so much that you see. And more and more I look at that, I'm like, geez, it's so true that it's like, it just feels like, it feels like 10 years, if that. But it's great. Anyways, got a little emotional.
Good morning, Julie. No. Good morning, Julie. She says good morning to both of us. We have Michael here saying fantastic Friday.
Yes,
always great when it's a long weekend. We're Monday to Friday, guys. So I gotta be honest with you, I appreciate it.
I want the whole where's the air horn? Thank you. Yes. Happy Friday.
Packers fan world. Happy Thanksgiving. I'm gonna take it you're a Packers fan.
Oh no, my wife's a Packers fan.
Oh, is she?
So by default, I'm a Packers fan. So
okay, wow.
Yes, Packers fan world. Yes,
I'm a Dolphins fan. But we'll have a conversation about that another day.
Laces out.
Yes, laces out. Where's my Finkel buddy? So yeah. So let's I want to get to some of these pins because I don't want to seem like I'm not.
Yes.
Can you drive a 50cc bike without a license?
Private property, yes. How's that? 50cc bike without a license. Anything that's motorized. I gotta see what I'm gonna say no, but I'll have to double check. Unless Sean Shapiro, our host in the background there, anything motorized on the city. So the city streets you can't be doing, especially here in Toronto. Very limited what you cannot ride. As we said, unicycles are prohibited, and actually the province of Ontario. E-scooters, same thing. You can't be riding those things in the city. They are prohibited. With the 50cc, I have to go back.
In Ontario, a motorcycle license is required for all scooters, mopeds, motorcycles, regardless of engine size or an electric power over 500 watts.
Well, there you go. So need a license. Thank you very much. I thought so, and thank you for Peter. Again, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it is a motor vehicle. That's anything that's powered besides muscular power. There are a lot of restrictions when it comes to that. So a good idea to keep in mind if you are looking to purchase anything like that. Just look at the rules at the end of the day, or just watch our show.
There you go. Paige has a question. I have my local focus assessment on Wednesday. Do you have any advice to prepare? Wow, Paige. I'll be honest with you. So for both of us, it's been over 18 years since we've 18 plus. Yeah, where we've done local assessment. The best thing I can tell you, Paige, is be honest. Come prepared. So there are a ton of resources online. I know. I'll be honest with you. I researched I say cramp. Yeah. Research the cramp event. Where we're going with it. It's been said.
The hell out of it.
I don't know if the hell out of it is any better. But yeah, so I researched it a lot. Just be honest. I'm sure I would assume, like many who are going through the process, you would have done some research into it. Take some of that feedback, but also be honest. Just be truthful, be who you are, be sincere, because that kind of stuff comes out in those in those interview processes. And so yeah, because essentially most of your interviewers who are going through this want to know, can I sit beside this person on a 10 or 12 hour shift in the car? That was always the best advice I got when I was getting on was, I want to know, are you going to be real with me, or are you just coming here to say whatever?
Just to get on.
Yeah, because most of those folks who are doing it they're officers themselves, and so yeah. Just be honest, prepare yourself as best as you can, do some research online, which I have no doubt you have. But I think the most thing is be sincere. Just relax. When you get in there, the best thing I can always tell you is when you go into these things, because look, I'll tell you, I struggled to get on at first. It took me over 2.5 years to get onto the service, but I never gave up.
How long did it take you?
2.5 years there. 2.5 years, but they still hired
Can
me.
I tell you? No. Oh, you know what? No.
Oh no, you don't want to talk about it? Why? It took me 6 months.
No. Try about maybe a year.
Yeah, they still hired me 30 above you. So
they felt bad for you. They're like, you know what? This guy's been trying so long.
It took 2.5 years.
It's like, yeah, fine. That's normal.
I'm transparent about it. But yeah, it took me a bit. And I'll tell you,
it's like a throwaway fish. You get and you get back on the hook. You're like, you know what? Fine, I'll keep you because you know what? You just keep on biting.
I've been all by this place.
I love you, man.
So,
I just love you.
Just take a deep breath. When you get in there, take a deep breath, focus. You'll do great. And look forward to maybe you having sit beside me one day, Paige, if I'm still in the service. And I don't mean that because it's going to take you a while. I just don't know how long I'll do this show, to be honest with you. But thank you, and thank you for wanting to serve, our community. That's awesome. Here's a question: if a citizen of another country visiting Ontario for a short period of time can drive here in Toronto, if he is having an internationally driver's license of his own state. Bashrat Ali Traffic Services, Punjab, Pakistan. So can you come here with an international?
Is that where he?
Yes, he comes onto the show. I've seen it before. Oh, I don't know. Someone else is messing with our. Oops. Okay.
Okay, moderator.
Okay, moderator.
Stay in your lane. Okay, stay in your lane. We run the show. Well, I shouldn't say that. We love you. I swear.
Thank you, moderator.
Moderator, I love you.
I appreciate it. Too bad we don't have the other moderator. Maybe you want to look at the office next door and be like, "Hey, do you want to come into the show?" Because I know she was very eager. But yes. So this is, I guess, the question at the end of the day is: if I come with an international driver's license,
short period of time, you have to elaborate on short period of time. Some people say short period of time could be 3 weeks. Some people say 4 months. So it all depends.
So let's give a scenario. If they're here for a month.
If they're a month, no, you can actually drive with your international license. Just make sure that you are aware of the rules of the road that we have here in Ontario compared to what you guys have back home. So just be aware, do your research, do your homework. I know, yes, we're not like England where you're driving on the opposite side of the roads, but at the same time, the rules of the road when it comes to driving.
I don't know
behaviors.
I don't know if in Pakistan they drive on the left or right side.
I don't know. But if it's something that, be cautious and cognizant of what you're doing when you do come here. Do your research. You know what? Google is your best friend. It's actually our best friend as well. So when it comes to things that we don't know,
they drive on the left side. They're driving on the same side as us. Looking up, Pakistan drives on the left side of the road. England drives on the road. Sorry, what am I saying?
Oh, Peter, I think Peter needs to go back to driving school, everybody.
Sorry, we drive on the right side, they drive on the left side. Sorry, I got confused from what you were saying earlier. So, yes.
Yes. So there's little things that you need to be aware of.
That would also make sense at the colony one time, being a British colony. But yes, okay. So
Peter,
we drive on the right side. So, you got to drive on the left side, which is going to be
anything
awkward
over,
for you.
I think it's 90 days, 3 months, less than 90 days, you're good to go. Anything over, you need to get your license. That's needs to have. I think you actually need an actual license or just a. But I think you might have to actually apply for one if it's anything over the 3 months. So you need to get some kind of permission because it's quite a bit of time.
You know what? I don't put this up enough, and I should. But there we go. There's your name, just in case anyone's wondering who filed the complaints against and who to send the hate emails to.
My name is Peter De Quintal, badge number 9.
My name comes across the top, so we're good with that.
Yes.
But
there's no mistakes. The bald guy on the way TikTok. So where's Sean? We need Sean back on here.
Using a handheld device in a parking lot, Walmart, Costco, whatever, Canadian Tire. Wake not smart. Is it illegal? So you can use your handheld devices. You're on private property.
No problem.
So you can use your handheld device there.
No problem.
I would tell you it's probably in your best to actually park your car and use it only because, again, the reason we got into this whole handheld devices is you're distracted.
Correct.
And in a parking lot, it is quite busy at times, especially if you're going to a Costco parking lot. Cars are coming all the time.
Costco, Walmart.
I would not be on my cell phone driving around
They need
I
traffic
park
lights in there. Forget about the stop signs. They need traffic lights.
the worst trying to get in and out of Costco.
Oh my
And this
god.
isn't anything against Costco. I'm a member myself.
Oh, so am I.
This is a promotion for Costco.
I
Costco,
donate
we
so
love
much
you.
money to Costco. Or I shouldn't say
Donate.
yeah, well, that's the thing, right? Because you buy so much stuff and then you bring it home. I'm like, what are you doing with all this stuff? And half the stuff you throw away anyways.
My
It's
worst thing is you go on a road trip and you're like, okay, we just got to pick up a couple things. And then somehow you come out with a shopping cart and it's like the $200 club. You're like, what did we just buy here? But yeah, and then whatever.
for the longest time, I couldn't leave that place spending less than $250.
Oh yeah.
Every time. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go grab 3 things and it cost me like $40. Yes. Okay, sir, $275.
I remember being called the
Okay.
$100 club because you can never leave without spending at least $100. But inflation has changed that. So yeah.
Yes.
Is splitting lanes legal in Ontario? And that comes from, oh my God, his name is the Costco Castro. Right after we talk about Costco.
You did that
the
on
next
purpose,
one up.
didn't
No, that was just the next comment from our moderator.
you? Someone's taking a break there.
Okay, is splitting lanes legal in Ontario?
What do you think, Peter?
It's fine if you do it in a safe fashion. Am I not correct on this?
No,
No?
you can't
You
lane
can't-
split in Ontario. California allows it, I think it is.
Hold on. So then explain this to me. I don't understand. Lane splitting and filtering.
Filtering is different.
Okay, so explain what lane splitting is.
Let's
Because I think that would be informative for people to understand. Because lane splitting, filtering, am I not essentially kind of doing the same thing?
let's see. I want to know the exact definition of
What?
lane split.
Lane splitting is regarded as illegal in Canada.
It is. It's
Okay.
illegal.
So then
California,
explain
they
to me
allow it in
filtering.
California. Filtering is different as when the cars are stopped and they are getting to the front of the line in order to be visible, and drivers will know that
Oh, okay.
that driver vehicle.
So that's
Driver is
just like,
motor vehicle.
so when
like
I'm
an
sitting
actual
out Black Creek, stuck in traffic, and I watch this motorcyclist pass us all,
It's filtering.
It's trying to be safe. I'm just asking. Not a motorcyclist guy. I'll be honest with you. As a driver, it's kind of annoying when you watch it.
Yes.
So what's the difference with lane splitting? So when traffic is moving, this is what we're saying is the definition is the flow of traffic. So we're actually moving.
Correct.
If you come up that center between us, that is lane splitting, and that is illegal.
That's illegal here
But
in Ontario.
if I'm sitting stopped at a red light at Black Creek and Lawrence, for instance, or at the Allen Road, and I'm sitting stuck, and you slide up beside me, that is lane filtering, and that is legal.
And supposedly that is
the difference is whether or not I'm stopped.
I've been out of the game for a bit, so you have to forgive me.
So back to the actual question he's asking: is splitting lanes legal in Ontario? No, it is illegal. But lane filtering, so the vehicles are stopped, not in motion, and lane filtering is okay. So that's the difference. I think we could do a TikTok on that, but maybe we'll have to look at that another day. Let's move on. When we report to 311 for an infraction in our area, such as parking enforcement, example, park at a hydrant, blocking driveways and building, we're always told that we have to show up in court.
No.
Julie, I don't. So if you report it, and for instance, and this would be a great opportunity to have Erin here. Erin, if you're watching the show, chirp in. No, I'm kidding. If Erin goes there and she sees the car parked in front of the hydrant, she's the witness. She's the whole thing. You don't need to be there, Julie.
And one up, they actually have the ability to take pictures and attach pictures to the ticket.
So you mean parking enforcement?
Parking enforcement.
Yeah. So
correct.
if you ever follow TPS Bike Cart, Erin, we all know she's awesome. If you follow her, she takes videos, and you can see in those videos, she quickly gets up to your car, she takes a picture on her device, and she issues the ticket.
Correct.
And so, yeah, Julie, I'm not quite sure what you're getting from 311, and maybe there's a disconnect, or there's something we're missing. But if you park at a fire hydrant and that officer shows up and that vehicle's still parked in front of the fire hydrant, they don't need anyone else. They can see it. They take a picture of it. That's all the evidence they need. And they're golden. No different than blocking driveways. Sorry, blocking driveways, you become the complainant. So if it is a private driveway, yes, you will need to go to court. Because, so for instance, if you have your cut in the curb, I've had friends who've had to go.
They had to go to court for this?
Well, most people don't fight the tickets, but you would because you're the.
but it comes down to the picture
You're the
because a
complainant.
picture is, we appreciate witnesses and everything else. It paints 1,000 words, right? You can't in 1,000 words, you can't explain what you see in the picture. Again, yes, you can, I guess, explain it, but when if it goes to trial and then the parking enforcement is going to go up to the stand and say, well, I really don't want to say anything. I want to show you the picture. And once you start seeing these pictures, they're like, yeah, okay, you know what, I'm guilty, no problem. Let's work out if they can work out something, but they're guilty of the offense. There's no ands if buts about it. So if I don't blocking the maybe if it's on private parking on private property, there could be something.
Because you're
I
the
don't know.
complainant. So you like, yeah.
Well, even blocking a driveway, like as long as the picture shows that there's the indent where this is where the driveway is, and there's a car clearly parked in front of that driveway. I don't see why.
Yeah.
I've never seen. Again, I haven't.
We don't go to parking
I think
court.
I've been to parking court
I don't.
once, and I watched it, and I didn't see ever any witnesses come in for the city.
I've probably issued maybe a couple dozen in my entire time, if that, parking tags, because
Oh,
there used to be too many. If you didn't know, the city was always blocked up, and so when amalgamation happened, it didn't happen for parking tickets. So you could be on Eglinton, which was York, and if I didn't write York, parking enforcement officer would know all this. A police officer, that wasn't our focus. We didn't get a ton of training on it, and so it was like, this is York, this is East York, and they could tell by like at one time like the color of the fire hydrant would separate. Like, this is
what?
from this, and this is a major roadway, so this is metropolitan, and so yeah, very few of my
And you
tickets
had
would
to put
actually
either
get through.
opposite to an address or in front of an
Yeah,
address. You
yeah.
just couldn't put the address down. It had to be in
It's
front of or opposite to, and I'm like, I'm confused.
very different than just issuing a PLT.
Mhm.
Let me see this one. I got pulled over by a cop for speeding 63 in the 50. It's been a year since I disputed the ticket. No updates so far. Does this
Mhm.
automatically mean it's dismissed?
Negatory. The only one that person that can actually get rid of the ticket is the courts. The courts, once it's been issued and given to
He's
you,
he's gone through a whole thing here because he says still when I check the ticket online, it doesn't show the court or anything else.
yeah,
It's it's
no problem.
yeah, it's
Eh,
possible that the ticket,
oh, yeah.
depending if it was handwritten, it's possible that it's lost, right? Like if you can't find it online, so when you check that ticket, it's possible. Like for instance, if we issue the ticket, it has to
So
go
it
before
doesn't
the
show a
7 days.
court date or anything. I'm not sure of
Oh,
anything else that with, if you head to City Hall, you can actually go there, the basement floor. You bring that ticket and say, can you, if you can look at this ticket, because there's a way of looking up your actual ticket, and then there's if it's issued, especially electronically, there's no doubt about it that it's in the system. Even handwritten tickets, it'd be kind of interesting to hear to see that it's never been processed, but to assume that it's been dropped, that's very it's
Sean got in on this and was
yeah, he
saying,
did. He did mention a couple of things like
they don't determine a date for court. It means it's dismissed. If there's no record of it, it's so there's many things that can happen in the background. For instance, if I write a PLT, but I don't actually submit it, there's a 7 days.
yeah,
If I don't submit it within 7 days, the
yes,
ticket actually gets tossed.
yes,
And
it
has
gets
it happened to officers?
100%.
It's happened to me where
Yeah,
what's happened is long day, got stuck on overtime. By the time I got back, it was my last day. Went, got out of uniform, and
yeah,
the tickets we used to hand. So with electronic tickets, it's automatically sent. There's
mhm,
nothing in there.
mhm.
But hand bombing an actual paper PLT. I'll be honest, has it happened very rarely, but I remember doing it once where I went on days off and the tickets sat in my pocket. By the
Yeah,
time I come back, those
yeah,
tickets are dead.
they're dead, yeah,
They're dead. So
so it has
there's no place for them
happened,
to go.
and, I'd say less now because of the electronic tickets, but, it I would not assume that it's dismissed because that can lead into, suspensions of your license, and if you're caught driving while there's suspension, it gets dirty from there, so, if it is something, I would definitely look at, heading up the old City Hall courts downstairs in the basement, just saying, "Hey, listen, I need to see if this ticket has ever been processed," and if they're saying, "No, it's never been processed," I would, get something, if they can do some kind of printout, and just have some kind of evidence saying, "Yeah, you know what? I did my due diligence. This is what I have. Never been processed," and you're good to go.
Okay. Someone's asking. So thank
Oh,
you
thank you
guys for all
guys.
you do. I appreciate that one so much. And I want to get to there's a comment on Instagram. So our Instagram comments don't actually appear on that screen. I have to look at another screen. If electric unicycles are illegal except on private property, how come no one gets fined for using on sidewalks, roads, and in bike lanes? That's a great question. And enforcement, um, I think it comes down to resources, officers
Mhm.
understanding we have the
Limited.
most officers are going from call to call to call. We're set on like other objectives right now, other focus,
Mhm.
and there's not a ton of those unicycles out there. It may
Yeah.
seem like it, but why aren't they being forced? They will be eventually. At some point, it's going to catch up to them as we build up the resources and capabilities of catching up with these things. But yeah, they are illegal. So what we're talking about is those unicycles, for instance, was involved in a collision the other day. So those motorized, not a muscle powered. So not me like I'm in a circus act
Circus man, no.
and I'm sitting on a unicycle, which are awesome, and I've seen it
Yeah.
very cool. The electronic ones, so the motorized ones
Yeah.
are illegal.
It's all about, I can't remember what that terminology is, when you're leaning forward and you lean back and stuff like that. It's those the ones that are battery operated, and some of the, they have lights on them, flashing lights on them, and I see these guys fully decked out in, like, headgear and everything else. I'm glad that they're safe, but how about, poor little grandma there trying to cross the street or walking on the sidewalk, and Mr. Unicycle over here is barreling down at, like, whatever, 15, 20, even if they're on the roadway, which most of them are usually on the roadway, or pathways,
Right.
and they knock over little grandma there. Her chance of actually surviving is going to be, very slim to none. 'Cause, again, the older you get, you're unable to recover from falls and anything like
So,
that. Sorry, I'm going
Toronto
on.
tennis girl, I hope that comment was, "Thanks for taking the time to answer my questions." Not sure if that's now. I'm hoping that's a response and you were being sarcastic. I
Yeah.
apologize. There's multiple things going on, and clearly,
Mhm.
I'll be honest with you, we clearly don't have our moderator on because they can see the absolute nonsense on TikTok. If I'm 14, can I drive a car?
Oh my, yeah. So
Yeah.
whatever the thing
Oh
is,
god,
like,
I wouldn't even bother, but it's
I
awesome.
like, you gotta stop. I'm sorry, buddy. As much as I love hearing your question about 15, 20 times and everybody else that's
Uh,
looking at this,
this is
please don't.
this is the cry for help for attention.
Well,
Where I just sit there and I keep asking the same thing over and over and over and over and
yeah,
over and over
and
and over and
he's
over
gonna get
again.
called out. And thanks very much. You can tell them to kind of relax and sit back. And you know what? We are trying to get through all the questions. And if it's a legit question,
How about we focus on what actually matters?
yeah,
Not this guy.
like 14 years old, like,
Even other
I
people are like,
I
"Stop."
should have to answer these
I
questions. At the
love
end of
that.
the day,
"Stop, bro." I love that.
yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
it.
'Cause if you don't realize how annoying you're being on TikTok, well, people are here for legitimate reasons to do things. So,
Correct.
hey, good morning, Richard. Good morning.
Good morning. Good
Richard says good
morning.
morning. Oh, so here, let me
Let's
get to
see.
this one.
So let's see.
Okay,
Illegal
that's not a
U-turn.
question.
Not a question, more of a
I got
concern or comment.
Oh,
What else we got here?
sorry, folks.
Sorry,
Without a
our
moderator,
moderator is not with
when the
us.
moderator disappears, it takes us a little bit more. That was the 311.
It's a lot of, again, at the same day, I know maybe Sean was able to do everything on his own, which
Someone's
again, he
asking
was.
this. Maybe you know this. Are people, so I'm assuming as a citizen, are you able to upload dash cam footage of people driving erratically? This is a question from Julie.
Trying to remember.
Julia, sorry.
Thanks, Julia. Great question. I know, definitely save it. I'm not 100% sure if the portal itself, where you do submit your not request, but your concern,
Complaint.
thank you very much. It was coming. It was
It's
coming
coming.
there.
No worries.
My mind is
I got
trying
you.
to catch up.
I got
Thank you. If the complaint will allow you to have attachments, I've seen attachments. I'm not sure if it's maybe a follow-up, but definitely keep it on hand, and that is something that's great if we can, hold on to that and then use that if we need to in court, or even just having the officers like, "This is great. It's great evidence," right? At the end of the day, uh,
Someone may follow up with you because I know when I used to be a traffic complaints officer, people would have photos or whatever. So we get assigned to, for instance, me when I was traffic complaints, I would have gone to follow up with you. So yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
Paige is sorry, Paige, and I know we're like 20 minutes behind what your question is, but and thing, but thanks so much for you too. I appreciate it so much. No problem, Paige. All the best of luck.
Thank you.
So yeah.
No, I
It
appreciate it.
says
Again, we appreciate the comments and people come, chiming in and stuff like that. And even if it's something that you've heard before, it's great. But there's always something, little tidbits here and there that you may like. Oh, I didn't know that, or that's interesting, or I actually thought about that one time or another. So, or just you're here for the banter between us two. It's awesome.
someone's like, recently I noticed a lot of drivers on the road who do not know how to drive. I don't know if that's
Um,
recent. I think it's been going for a while. But we wouldn't have a
Hey,
traffic.
listen,
For instance, would we have a traffic services if everyone knew how to drive? For
if
collisions, yes, but for
correct.
enforcement part, if
For
we all did our
enforcement, then we
part,
would be really bored and not knowing what to do, right? So, but then again, that would help us to focus on other things that's going on in the
we
city.
wouldn't need an
But
educational thing either because
no,
folks would know what they were doing.
100%,
And so this
100%.
show, well, you know what? I'd be willing to give up the show if I knew that everyone was driving. I'd be willing to give up the show, no problem.
You know what? That's perfect. I would love to make our job easier and say, no, hey, listen, everyone has driven well today. There's no collisions, no tickets issued. That'd be amazing. But unfortunately, there are people that have developed bad habits over the years. Have watched people have bad habits, and it continues. And I know, obviously, and kind of think about a lot of people, I'm talking a lot of people are doing the right thing, right? Following the rules of the road, they obey the traffic signals, the speed limits, and are considerate and communicate, and nothing ever happens, right? Then you have a few bad apples that are not, are driving distracted. And, I've seen people like drive in the back of cars, and it's incredible. And, and going back to my old Vision Zero days, and like 2, 3 years ago, it's amazing to see that because I did drive an undercover pickup truck, and it's amazing to see what people do around you. And we think, oh, no cops around here, so I'm gonna go ahead. I had a guy blow through it, like he knew at a red light, and I'm stopped there, and he decides to make his left hand turn at a red light, and I'm like, dude, and he's like, yeah. He goes, I'm sorry. And I'm like, it's not even a sorry anymore because it's like exactly what like at the end of the day, you know what you're doing is illegal or not proper, and you should always have consideration where you're like, look over my shoulder. If if someone's around here, would they, if my mom was in the car with me, would I do that with her right now in the car? Probably not. But anyways, let's continue.
Can you turn this question from Becca Bear? Can you turn right on red when the other direction has an advanced green? Depends on how many lanes there are.
Correct.
And yes, if they are so if there's 2 lanes, they are to go into the first available lane, which should be the left lane if they're coming and
Correct.
making a left. So they have that advanced green,
Mhm.
they're gonna make that left, and it should be into the first. I'd love to tell you that's how it works every time, but we both know people love to take wide turns. But yes, can you make a right on a red light if you have an available lane?
As long as it isn't interfere with their way of traffic.
Traffic.
Now, the problem too is then what happens if, yes, Mr. Citizen or Mrs. Citizen making a left-hand turn and drifts into that lane, and you're making your right-hand turn on the red light. Guess what? You are facing that red light. So you are liable of anything that could go awry if you were making the right-hand turn on the red light. So be considerate, let the traffic go. Is it really worth that? Okay, well, I'm gonna save myself 10 seconds because I wanna go at the same time that other car does. I just say it's not worth the headaches, not worth anything else. That's what it comes down to. Like,
But if
being
they
cons
if they were to drift over, they could also be charged as well, though.
They have the right of way.
But they have to enter
They
into the
ha
first available
they're
lane.
facing that red they're facing that green light.
Okay.
There's no expectation for them to expect that person go straight, making that turn or whatever it is. There is that expectation. Now, if they go over 3, 4 lanes and make that left-hand turn, that's a little ridiculous, but at the same time is because, I'll tell you right now, when it comes to insurance, when people are sideswiped, it's a 50/50 liability unless it's proven, but
Okay.
still, they are it's like it's almost like a 50/50, doesn't matter who was doing what. Again, if they had that red light, then maybe, yeah, maybe they may look at still a portion of that person that's it's just I say if you can avoid it.
Because it's improper left turn. If you go into the wrong lane,
But what
one of the
happens if
fences.
you so you're telling me that the reason why that person
I'm
caused
not
that
telling you anything, I'm
crash,
just saying.
well,
Yeah. Well, I'm
again,
saying, like, I would say, yeah.
yes, the car drifts over it. Some people can't navigate a left-hand turn, and I've trust me, we've seen people that can't navigate a right-hand turn either. So, um, and if it's that chance where you're slightly both off and you guys bounce off each other, again, that person had the advanced green at the end of the day, and then whoever's facing that red light, you are responsible to make sure that you give the right of way to the person who's the green light.
All right, there you go, Becca. That's it. What are the rules? And this is where we should have Aaron, but we're pretty.
No, Aaron is
What are the rules for parking on the street if you have a disability permit on the dash? So you can park anywhere that it says no parking. That's fine. You don't have to pay the meter. you can park. There are a whole bunch of rules around that, how far you have to be away from a curb. You still can't park where a fire hydrant is. You definitely can't park where there's no standing
Mhm.
or
No
no
stopping.
stopping. You can't park there.
3 or 9 meters from intersection.
Mhm.
Um, that's pretty much it, I think.
Yeah, there's a very but yeah, for the most part, you can park yeah, you can park anywhere on the street as long as it's no parking and you're not interfering so with a curb or anything like that. You still can't park in front of someone's driveway. You can't park in front of a fire hydrant. You can't be parked in a fire route. If you park in
Mhm.
a fire route, you're still gonna get a ticket,
Yeah,
right?
and
It's
possibly towed
essentially
as well.
your leeway is the no parking, you can park there. That's what
Mhm.
that gives you that ability to is parking and
Correct.
no parking. No standing, no stopping, fire routes. You are fair game to anyone just like you would be with or without a disability permit. I hope that answers your question. Shadow tank
Accessibility,
permit,
please.
accessibility permit, maybe they have one, that's what they call it by it, so I'm just using their wording. So, yeah,
You always correct me whenever I
I'm
say
just trying
that, so
I agree, it's an accessibility thing. Yeah, I'll be honest with you, yesterday I heard the
Um,
term handicap permit, I'm like, "Oh, nope,
oh, whoop,
nope,
whoop,
nope,
whoop, whoop,
nope,
whoop,
nope,
whoop.
nope, 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 that's not what it's called. If you had one, you'd understand that." Yeah. So, if I have a light out on my car, is that illegal? It's $110.
Sure is.
So, yes, you
How's
need to
that?
get that light fixed, okay?
Right to the point, get it fixed.
Nobody wants to see your one eye, car coming down.
Yeah.
It's yeah, it doesn't help. I'll be honest with you, I had one yesterday and, behind me, not my car. My car's never had a headlight go out, but
Mm,
yes, it is illegal. You can get $110.
correct.
Ideally, I'll be honest with you, most of the times the courts are pretty forgiving about it.
Well,
If you
once
go
you
get it
rectify
fixed or
the issue right
repaired,
away, then yeah,
yeah,
that's
you bring it to
now
court
if you've been warned once, twice, 3
and
times
you've
by
done
an
nothing about
officer
it. Yeah,
and do nothing about it, yeah, I guess what, you're gonna get a ticket. Like,
and that goes to the front or back. So if you have one of your running lights is out, so if your rear light is out, same as having a headlight on, is it not?
I so, I don't agree with this. Again, I don't know if they've changed the rules of the road at the time with the a brake light because a motorcycle how many brake lights does a motorcycle have? Correct. So
One.
that's yes, I don't know. I don't know if there's the wording could be different. You should
'Cause I've
have
seen trucks taken off for safety issues because they only
because
have
only
one
one
brake light.
correct.
If the other brake light doesn't get off. So if you are a truck driver driving a commercial truck, if one
Mhm,
of your brake lights is out, the
mhm.
Ministry of Transportation, if they see you, they will take you off the road for being unsafe until you can replace it.
I would love to get a CVSA guy in here instead of just trying to like, I don't know if that's enough.
Okay.
Like, I know
I
now
yeah, from my
I've
own
seen trucks
experience.
where, again, none of the lights work because they put the brakes on and nothing turns on. They may have running lights on the back, but then as soon as they press the brakes and nothing gets illuminated, that's a problem, right? So that's a safety issue. Having one of their lights out because it's to say that it was at the time of their inspection that they're supposed to be doing every time they will circle check. It's hard to prove that it was actually out at the time of their circle check. So I don't know if they can take your plates off of that. I've seen plates
I
taken off of
s
trucks
s
because of a lot of other reasons, like bad tires, no brakes.
I just remember I used to do, so in 12th Division, I headed up, I led this Ministry of Transport. So we used to do MTO blitzes, so we pull over the trucks.
Mhm.
And I always it blew my mind the first time I saw it was if you had one rear light out, they said you were unsafe and you couldn't go. But anyways, um,
Yeah, I'd rather get
get
the
the light done.
pro guys to
Otherwise,
come in,
yeah.
get your headlight fixed right away, to avoid anything. And then sometimes, yeah, it's
Can a, tr-
again,
can a pedestrian be charged not giving right of way to a police car with a siren and going in the intersection? So you meaning you just ignore it and you continue on? Can you be charged as a pedestrian? As a vehicle, you'd get it.
100% the
One
vehicle,
hundred
yeah.
percent, you'd get it.
I,
This would need a little bit more digging. I'll be honest with you.
yeah,
It's an interesting question. I've never. So yeah,
mm.
I have to look that one
So
up.
just out of curiosity, would you ignore the siren, the vehicle, police car, ambulance, fire truck? Um, yeah, it comes down again, consideration, um, and communication with everybody on the roads when it comes down to that. So even if it's a police car, another vehicle, again, all about communicate. Actually, even this morning, right? This morning, we were on our way, grabbing a coffee. We were at the four-way stop, and I had someone at a party decided looked like in my eyes, I thought he was the the guy was going to make a left and walk along the road, but he decided to cross the street last second, and the car that stopped, rolling stop for the stop sign, proceeded. And then, especially when it comes to four-way stops, even stop signs and everything else, because there's no control for the pedestrian, it's all about communication, right? And I've been doing this whole safety thing for a long, especially with senior safety stuff. It's all about communicating, making eye contact with that driver, just to make sure that, you guys are, everyone's on the same page. "Hey, I'm gonna cross the street now. So as long as you see me, I see you." As I step off into the roadway, there's no reason for you to move forward. So communication is key. And going back to that question with the police car with the sirens going at an intersection, what happens if that's an emergency that was going to your house? Do you really want someone to say, "You know what? Well, I've got the right of way. I'm gonna make me a walk anyways." Um, I just think it's I just think it's is that really word that I want to use? But it's just, being considerate. At the end of the day, we're the reason why we have our license marathons is because we're going to an emergency. There's nothing else but that. So for someone to go and jump in front of our car and say, "Well, I got the right of way, so I'm gonna continue walking," it's very inconsiderate, and I'll keep my personal.
Ministry of Transportation guy here. It could be considered a V1 Box 3
Oh, we're
no
done with the
light.
question?
7 days to repair and show an inspection facility or to a peace officer. He's talking about the light in the rear. Thank you, John, for coming in on that.
It's JDM low life.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, JDM, that's yeah. Maybe your name is John, maybe
I'm sorry.
maybe he knows you, but it's JDM.
It was further away from me.
No, fair enough.
John put in the HA says one lamp to the rear is
Is
required.
minimum. Yeah, is minimum. So, and the only reason why is
But
you
he
don't
says
just
the CVSA might have additional conditions. Look, I know from my own experience, I've seen it taken before,
Yeah.
and so they had to get a mechanic to show up and change on the light. I'm like, really?
So there you go. So yeah, so it is there are a lot of different laws when it comes to commercial vehicles than it is for personal. And fortunately, with that, with the rear lights, and that's why Sean, and that's why I know it was only one light to the rear because it encompasses motorcycles, and they should distinguish it to the difference between the two because the whole reason for that third brake light was because of other issues that were happening with vehicles, and that's why they added that third brake light. So they should distinguish, if it's a motor vehicle as a car, it should have a minimum of two. And I think the HTA is a little behind. So that's my honest opinion. Which
Someone on
it's on.
Instagram is my friend's car got impounded for driving for stunt driving. So what do we have to do after 14 days to get his car? You go to the impound, you pay a large fine.
100%.
Or you pay the large
The
impound fee.
owner of that motor vehicle must attend the pound, show that they are the owner, such as ID that matches the registration of the motor vehicle. You pay your money, and someone that's licensed, and that's so if it's your vehicle that you got impounded, you need a friend, mommy, daddy, or someone else to go with you to grab that car. So, or have it towed out of there. It's up to you. Just you cannot drive that vehicle out of there because then if you do, you're driving a vehicle under suspension, which then again you get charged again, and probably I'm not sure if it's under the VIP. That probably gets impounded again, depending on the situation.
I'm trying to read this one. I'm not sure if this is Spanish. Espero no algún día please. So one
Hold
day
on, is that Portuguese?
No, I don't know if that's
No, I think,
but I can read it. It's saying one day I hope to be a police officer in Canada. That's my dream.
Oh.
So good luck, Leighton. Sorry.
Yes.
I appreciate that. Look, I was trying to get into the international languages here, and so
Look at you, eh? All diverse, this guy.
So yeah.
Our moderator's still not here.
No, moderators.
We're gonna have to fire her. But I still love you. Help us. Help us. Oh, look, 10:53. Hold on. I need to remind Peter about the time. Because as most of you know,
most of them
it's a hard stop at 11 o'clock, and I need my time to, it's for my mental health. I need to make sure that I say my proper goodbye. I want to make sure that we're all on the same page. And I want to say, everyone, thank you very much for attending. Thanks for the questions. I have a great time every time I'm here.
I'd love to see my reaction to this. You go on about this, but it's fine. I'll watch the last 2 minutes of the show.
Oh, Peter.
All right. So just so you know, yeah, it is a pretty hard 11 when I facilitate the show, I guess. It's 10:54, so we have 6 minutes. Part of this is I'm also going to tell you Maud even falling off the desk. She had to take a start. She took a call from the sergeant,
Yeah.
so
So
unfortunately, that's priority over the show.
supersedes
Yeah,
that. So sorry,
fo
guys.
well, folks, if you're wondering when we're on, I typically going to try to do this about 2 weeks a week, but it also depends on my coordinates. For the next until about the third week in November, I'm going to be traveling across the city in different divisions, running a bike rodeo program. So that is priority is programs and getting out into the community. As much as I appreciate the show, I will do at least once at minimum. But the goal is at least to try ideally do it twice. And during the winter, when I can't do bike rodeos because it's snowing, we'll probably the focus will be a little bit more onto this. However, my thing is getting out into the community and actually having a different impact in this show. So yeah, the goal is we'll do it next week at least once. You'll see it posted if you follow us on social media or Traffic Services Toronto on Instagram. You can follow us and find out when the show is going to come. Typically, I'm going to try to put it out the same day. I've been a little bit late on getting the artwork out, like really early. But yeah, we're on YouTube. You can subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter. Every morning at 6 a.m. we post out Monday to Friday where our Vision Zero teams are. Post it on all of our social media channels. If you're looking to find me, which is up to you, I'm not sure if you really want to find me, but I am Star Wars Cop on X and TikTok and Instagram and Threads. For those of you who are watching Threads, I'm not sure what goes on Threads, but I am the Star Wars Cop, and then I'm just PC Peter De Quintal on Facebook. And so yeah,
Beautiful. We're gonna end up with
yep,
the
and
jokes, and then we'll
the
call
jokes, and then I'm gonna put up my. Let me see what jokes we have here. It's gonna come up. Yeah, Dad, why do they call it USB? Because USA was already taken. No, that's
no.
not. There we go.
Yeah. Thank you.
That one
was
seemed appropriate for
yes,
that one.
Of course.
Thank you, Kayla, for submitting these. Oh, there's a. Oh, that's the delay. Sorry.
That's awesome.
Yeah, a quote: "Being human means throwing your whole life on the scales of destiny when need be, all the while rejoicing in every sunny day and every beautiful cloud." Rose Luxemburg.
Hmm.
I like that one. So, folks, we're coming to the end. At the end of
Yes.
every show, I talk to you about blood donations. It's my thing. If you can do your part into the community, take an hour of your time. An hour of your time can mean a lifetime to someone else. If you are eligible to donate blood, please do. With one donation, you have the potential of saving a minimum 3 lives. We all know people recently, especially you can see it in the news and stuff, folks with cancer. Those folks with blood transfusions means carrying on their life. You could be potentially adding days, not years, potentially to someone's life by simply making a blood donation. So please, if you can donate blood, please go out and donate. That would be very kind.
Can I say goodbye now?
You can say goodbye.
Is it?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's a good time. Yeah.
Go
Okay.
ahead.
All right, everyone. Have a great long weekend. Enjoy. Please, plan ahead. Drive safe. If you are going to indulge in some alcoholic beverages, please plan ahead and don't drive. All right. Thank you very much.
Have a great weekend,
Have a
folks.
great long weekend. Hopefully, see you guys next week.
If you're looking for a fantastic job in a fantastic place, please consider joining the Toronto Police Service. I'm going to put up our video on hiring from our talent acquisition team. All the best. Have a great, happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Take care. Happy Canadian Thanksgiving to our American friends. It's much later into November, and I appreciate you guys because of Black Friday. So take care. All the best, and see you next week. Into November.
Your future career starts with a vision. A vision of opportunities ahead, where you can see a path to a noble career, serving the city of Toronto. Where do you see yourself? Toronto Police Service. Apply today.